So in the month of July, we ended up having our biggest month ever and sold over $350,000 worth of shoes and apparel on Amazon for our clients. It was also the month that we decided that we weren't going to sell these products anymore. Shoes are super profitable on the surface. When you go into a store to buy, you're basically scanning with the app Scoutify 2, which is part of Inventory Labs. When you scan the barcode, you're looking at a profit per unit of 10 to 20, sometimes $25, $30 in profit just on Amazon sale price minus fees and what you could buy it for. So on the surface, you're thinking that you're making 20, 30, 40, maybe even 50% ROI on the items you're buying. But in reality, you don't end up making all that profit once the items get sold. It's just projected. Off of what we were spending, we were hoping to make 30 to 50% plus what we spent back. And that was off of what we purchased them at / the shipments that we were sending out directly to Amazon FBA. And we thought we were sending out great batches. We went from, in the months prior, our goal was to send out 30-35% ROI when we sent out a batch or a shipment. And then this month, we really upped it and stepped it up, and we went for items that were 50% plus in ROI. And this also included selling a lot more apparel. To go off of the surface profit thought process, we were seeing that we also made a lot of money in cash back off of the credit cards, and also there were a lot of discounts in store. For example, Nike gave us 15% off of our total order. So we had that little buffer in there. And Adidas, in some cases, we had 30% off, our total order, which again made a huge difference. But the catalyst here is that once we actually sold these items, it ended up being that we were not netting anywhere near 30, 40, 50% ROI. What ended up happening in the month of July on one of our client stores, we had a 17% return rate. So what this means is off of our revenue, let's say the revenue is around $150,000 for that store, we had, let's say, a 15% return rate, which was actually higher and actually around 17%. That equated to over $22,000 in returns, which is basically $22,000 in lost product. This is returns that can't be sent back or can't be resold to customers or haven't been resold yet. And this really eats at your revenue. What ends up happening is returns end up coming back from customers, used, worn. Sometimes we get an item that we didn't even sell back. And what this is just a little bit of a flaw in Amazon's policy. Like, dude, look at this. Completely worn. They do so much volume that returns tend to just get probably passed through the warehouses. So, if a customer sends back an item that was worn and, the Amazon employee that processes it, pushes it through, it ends up getting sent back to us, and we're the ones that are forced to take the loss. We're beat on them. With all that product that goes to waste for returns, all the overhead is still tied to it. You still have to, purchase them all. Then you lose your buy cost, you lose your prep cost, all of your labor involved and stuff like that. And it ends up being a little bit more than what you think that you lost based off of your profit and loss statement. Additionally, the issue with these returns is that you have such a high cost of goods sold to get that profit margin. Each and every item that's sold, you're roughly taking on Adidas items a $20 to $30 loss because that's what it costs to buy the item. Or on Nike products, your cost of goods sold could average well over $60, anywhere from $49 to $129. So when you lose on a $129 item, that's multiple sales that you have to make back just to cover that cost or cost of goods sold on that return.
So the other issue that comes with returns is when I'm processing returns, I'll see something that comes in that isn't even in our catalog of items that we sell that have available. So for example, these Converse right here, size 15 clown shoes, they're beat to hell. Beat, can't do anything with them, and we've never sold them before in our lives. So on the ticket that we get, it tells us, what's included in the returns. This is supposed to be a pair of women's Cloud Foam 2.0s, size 8. These are not size 8.
This is what Cloud Foams are supposed to be.
What can you do,
Oh, man! Check these out. These, not worn, perfectly fine, but the box is messed up and Amazon just puts them in this, completely beat. In some Nike cases, items cost $129. So every one of those returns, you lose $130. So even if you're profiting $10, it takes 13 sales to make that back. So this is kind of one of those conceptual things that you really have to process in order to realize what the flaws are with this model in this category. Additionally, you could only source, locally. You can get creative and, go on trips or, go further or just hit different spots. But in reality, if you're running a legitimate company, you could only source, 5, maybe 6 days a week. And we didn't do weekends because the stores were just so busy that we spent too much time waiting in line. So that hurt me with the hourly for my employees. So out of 3,000 to 3,500 orders in a month, we had maybe 5 to 10 customers that made quote unquote inauthentic claims. I think there's a lot of people that try and scam the Amazon return policy. On my end, I know that the items are authentic and like we have the documents to back it. It's just became an account health issue where like when you have too many of these claims, you're spending a lot of time, energy, and money on fixing them, and that doesn't actually make you profit. It's just trying to keep you, to be able to sell on the platform. So that was kind of another reason why we decided to move away from this model. And then additionally with retail arbitrage, you're basically at, whim of what is available for sale when you go to the store. So on days when we were doing this type of volume for our clients, we had 3 or 4 guys going to multiple different Nike and Adidas stores in a day. It was a lot of logistics, gas, we would get trailers to fit it all. And if we would show up to a store with 3 or 4 of us or my employees and our team, and there was nothing to buy or a little bit to buy, it definitely became a big headache, also a little bit demotivating for our team. Even though we had great relationships with the stores locally to us, employees loved us. We just tried to be super helpful. We would give back to them, buy them food, give them apparel, give them shoes for free and stuff like that for helping us out. It just didn't make sense anymore to continue doing this.
So Joe talked about the retail arbitrage aspect of going to the store, sourcing product, whatever limitations we may find in there. But I just wanted to circle back on that and kind of talk again about what we would do in store, how we would get products, build relationships, whatever we had to do to reach the goal that we had that day. So we were shopping mainly at Adidas and Nike. Those were our big outlets. We'd travel, wherever we had to source good product. Ice cream truck. Let's give him a minute. It's not even Friday. Normally he comes here on Fridays. We used an app called Scoutify. Basically what we would do is we would go right up to the barcode of whatever shoe size that we were going to scan. We'd scan it, and we'd figure out how much the shoe would cost us.
I didn't realize it was pointing back there. I'm sorry.
So basically the process in store would kind of look something like this. Obviously, let's just say there's one of each different shoe. These are winners. I like these. So we'll go up to the Supernova women's. These are size 8. I load them up on Scoutify. That's what we use to track all these products. So it'll basically give you everything you need to know. It gives you the ASIN, the rank, which is very important, the list price, your net profit. It shows you all the offers that are on Amazon right now. So that stuff's always good. But what you want to look at is it's selling right now. The list price is $45.95. You would profit $30 off of this. So let's just say the Supernovas were, in the store for, I don't know, $60. Adidas is running a 50% off promotion, so they're $30 right there. And then you get another 30% off of the $30. This is actually a good example here. This shoe, the rank is $240,000. Typically, we really wouldn't buy anything that's over $100,000 in rank. Maybe we'd, buy a couple of one shoes just to see how it would sell. If it's like flirting with like, $108,000, $110,000, but $240,000, something like this, I would pass on in the store. Ranks always fluctuate, they always change. So next week, next month, tomorrow, this rank could go down, it could go up. So that's why the stores were always just kind of like a toss up because, you knew what sold, you knew what your good products were, but you could also come across something like this where last week, you were buying this shoe and now this week the rank's high, or maybe the price dropped and you can't, you make no profit on this now, so you can't really afford to buy it. But, yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. I'm Joe. This is Strictly Commerce. Thank you for your business.